Unknown. Why do guys ghost? Because we're assholes.
Why do girls ghost?
Hello and welcome back to Potty Mouth, the show where the jokes are dirty and our minds are dirtier. I'm Aaron, this is Blake.
How you doing?
And today on the podcast, we are answering your questions. More specifically, one question. What is the one thing you've wanted to ask a guy, but were too afraid to? And that's what we're going to do. We have taken our girl subscribers, girl listeners, as well as random women on the street and took a poll and got some questions for you today that we are going to answer honestly, but also give you our opinion, because not all of them are like yes or no questions. A lot of them will take some conversation.
Q&A.
Boom, Q&A. I think we've done something similar to this before. Maybe a Q&A, but I don't know. Maybe this is the first time. I don't think we've done one actually.
I'm not too sure.
If you like Q&As, let us know. We'll keep doing them. No, we did do them at our live shows.
I have slept since then.
Yeah, we have done Q&As at our live shows for the audiences. If you've never seen one of our live shows, we're trying to do a couple not this season's already over, but next year we're trying to do a few more live shows. So if you're interested, let us know. With that being said, who wants to take the first question? Blakey Poo is going to take the first question. All right. What is it? What do you got? Read the name and then the question.
Is that D Hart?
Yeah.
Okay. Haley D Hart asked, "Do you have good credit?"
Okay, so she's asking. So that's the question she's afraid to ask. She's afraid to ask, "Do you have good credit before you date a guy?" What do you think of that question?
That's a very valid question.
Yeah, but I mean, I get why you're afraid to ask it. First of all, that makes total sense. Well, Blake, do you have good credit, sir?
I do have good credit.
Good.
Very good credit.
It's fantastic. Are you scared to divulge your score on the podcast? I don't know if it's even supposed to. I'm gonna say mine's not bad. I haven't really made any mistakes. I'm like in the 700s somewhere.
I feel like I'm in the 8.
7 to 8 somewhere. High 7s, low 8s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I want to say, but I'm not too sure. I haven't checked my credit score in for quite a while.
I haven't either. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, I think so. I've made a few mistakes early on when I first turned 18. But thank God I did them when I was 18, because your credit's so young when you're 18 that it's really easy to fix those problems. It's a lot different when you're like 27, 28, and you have established credit, and then you make a mistake, because then it's so hard to get back to that point, because it's like you have a longer credit history.
Yeah.
So
a lot more times to make mistakes.
A lot more time.
In all honesty, though, like with this question, you're not going to offend a guy. I mean, granted, I wouldn't be offended by it, because I understand exactly where they're coming from.
Yeah, I could see where some guys take offense.
Now, here's the one question I have for this.
Okay.
Is when are you asking it?
Ooh, good question.
When are you asking it? So if you're asking on the first date,
probably not.
Probably not a good idea.
Now, but okay. But at what point is that appropriate? I mean, like at what time would you be like, okay, I want to ask about the credit?
I mean, like you gotta like notice some of his habits, everything like that, because something's got to pop up to where you gotta be questioning it, because it can't be just like out of the blue.
Right, no, yeah, where you're having dinner. Hey, how's your credit? Like realistically, on a scale of 1 to 10. Like,
so this is about a $40-$50 meal. How's your credit on this?
It's like, so this check isn't too bad. It's like $40. Do you want to split? Do you want to go Dutch? By the way, how's your credit?
How much are you tipping?
How much are you tipping? Okay, that's a good question. All right, let's.
But no, like in all honesty, though, it's a good question to ask.
It's a good question to ask.
Everybody wants to know.
You have to ask it in the proper time.
Yes.
My wife asked me. Well, my girlfriend, but my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, asked me. But she asked me because we were going in on an apartment together. So that's probably the best time to do it. Here's the deal. If you were going to start living together, I think that's the best time. To answer your question,
Well, basically anything that's going to affect
their credit.
you.
Yeah. If it's going to affect your credit, then ask.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's not your business.
That's where it's appropriate.
I'm going to say that. I'm going to go as far as to say that, though.
Yeah.
If it involves you, it involves your credit, and you're putting your responsibility at risk, then you should ask.
Agreed.
If it's not your business and you're not being affected by it, none of your business.
By the way, at that point, if he gets offended by that,
not the right guy for you.
See ya.
Yep. Bye. For real. Okay. Good question.
Next.
Good question. All righty.
Good job, Haley.
Good job, Haley. All right. Karen Shipley asks, does it come in adult sizes too? Oh my God.
We talk about penises right now?
I don't know. Does it come in adult size? Well, yeah, I'm sure.
I would assume, but
it's like you pull the pants down and she goes, does it come in adult sizes too? Oh my God. I hope, Karen, if you're watching this, please tell me you've said this to somebody because I want to know their response.
yes. Big time.
What would you do if you had that said to you? I would die. Like, I'd be like,
I'd probably walk out.
yeah, I'd be like, what?
Like, well, there goes my man card.
We don't have an answer for you, Karen. We hope to God this never gets said to us. My wife would probably say it as a joke, just to be completely honest. That's
funny.
That's brutal.
That's really funny.
That is funny, but it's brutal. All right, go for it.
All right, let's see here. Oh, we'll go with the one here.
Also, if you can't tell, we have our custom branded bowl. Get your own bowl, because this one's ours and you can't have it. I'm not sure. I have no idea where we got this actually. You can get it at pottymouth.com/store.
I'm glad I got this one.
Read it. What is it?
Because this is one of my pet peeves. All right, so from Betsy C.
Girlfriend's last name?
No.
Oh, we didn't pull Betsy, did we? No, we didn't. Okay.
I don't think did we put Betsy's in there?
Don't think so.
Another
Okay.
Betsy. Okay.
Is it the same last name or same last letter?
Nope.
Okay, never mind.
So she asks, do you think it's okay to flirt with other girls in a relationship? Hell no.
No. But do you think it's okay to flirt with other girls? So if I'm in a relationship and I flirt with other girls, no. Let me see the question. So the question says, do you think it's okay to flirt with other girls in a relationship? Is it asking, like, is it okay to flirt with a girl who's in a relationship? It's like that girl is in a relationship and you're flirting with her?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So if the guy knows that she's in a relationship and he still flirts with her, still, hell no.
No, yeah, it's kind of not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's say, for instance, Betsy, if you and I were dating and I was flirting with another girl, that's...
Right. So...
Again, hell no.
I think if you don't know, then it's not your fault. Like, if she's in a relationship and you don't know she's in a relationship and you're flirting with her...
Yep.
You can't be at fault for that. Like...
After that, though, that's where it comes disrespect.
Yeah, I think if you know... Well, then I'm guilty of that, though. I have totally flirted with a girl in a relationship, knowing she was in a relationship. I didn't push it. I only did it because she was flirting back.
Gotcha.
So, like, it wasn't a fault of my own. Like, I knew she was in a relationship, but I also knew she was flirting with me. So I was like, I'm just going to flirt with her. Because I wasn't going to do anything. Like, I wasn't going to make anything of it. I wasn't going to try to get her to cheat on her boyfriend or whatever.
So basically it was all for fun?
Yeah, I was just having fun. Like, I wasn't going to go any further than just the flirting. Because it was just fun for me. But, like, because she was flirting, I was flirting. It was like, oh, this is kind of cute, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I was going to leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, at that point, I would probably do it. As long as she is flirting. I would not push it and flirt with somebody who's in a relationship. That is just being a dick. Like,
it really is. I mean, it's very disrespectful.
But would you flirt with a girl if she was flirting with you just for the fun of it? Like, even if you knew she was in a relationship, but she was kind of flirting with you a little bit?
Actually, I'd probably call her out on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I take that very seriously.
He does. He takes relationships in general very seriously.
I do.
So, friendships, relationship, it doesn't matter. Somebody's a good friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good question. Next question comes from Courtney C.
Uh-oh.
Is it okay to be friends with an ex? And if so, what are the rules?
Depends.
Well, that's what she said. If so, then what are the rules? I think she's just asking, is it okay to be friends with an ex? She's not asking, like, yes, you are friends or you're not friends. She's asking, can you, and if so, what are the rules?
I believe you could, but there's got to be some ground rules when it comes to, like, respect.
Okay, let's just break it down then. So let's say, first of all, let's answer the first question, because there's technically two questions in this one, but it's no big deal. The first question is it okay to be friends with an ex? I'm going to say yes. As long as you're new, okay, all right. If you are single and you are friends with an ex, that's fine. Who gives a shit, right? If you are friends with an ex and you are dating somebody else, which I think is what this question is kind of addressing.
I would assume so.
Yeah. So let's say you're dating somebody and then you're friends with an ex. It is okay as long as your partner is okay with it.
Yeah.
That is the big distinguisher.
But here's the thing,
that's what I think. What do you think?
Because, well, to capitalize on that is, so not only that, but your partner's got to be able to trust you with that. If he or she is not able to trust you with you being around that ex,
right,
then it's probably not a good idea.
No.
Or it's probably not a good relationship. I don't know which yet.
Either way, it's out of respect.
Yeah.
Like, I know I have an ex-girlfriend of mine that I was friends with that my wife is not comfortable with. It's nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with the trust that she has in me. It's that she just does not like this particular person.
Yeah.
And so I'm just not allowed to be friends. Like, and that's fine. I respect it because, like, everyone's allowed to not like people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you have to come to an understanding that if you're going to be friends with an ex, then you have to understand that if your partner's not okay with that, then you have to choose. Like, you have to choose a potential relationship or risking the potential relationship that you could have with this person, or you're friends with your ex. Which, if you're not together anymore, there's a reason you broke up.
Yeah.
So if you want to put your, for lack of a better term, you want to put your eggs in a basket that's probably going to go somewhere.
Yes.
But not to say that you can't get back together with your ex and make it work. I did. So that's like a perfect example, actually. Me and my ex, my wife, were friends, and got together and stayed together. So
yeah. And
it can happen. It can happen.
Yeah. And in all honesty, though, like, if you're with me or whatnot, and, like, to me, if they're an ex, they have nothing more than being maybe acquaintance. Yeah, that's the word. Words are hard.
So what are the rules? Like, what rules? So let's set some rules up. So
definitely can never really hang out by themselves.
Big one. That's like number one.
That's huge.
You cannot hang out by yourselves. Especially if you're in a relationship, we're just gonna address all the questions in that scenario. You cannot hang out by yourselves.
It's a lot better in a double date situation.
Double date, or just a group setting, or even if if your partner is okay with the ex, then hang out all together. But don't hang out by yourselves. That lets trust. That lets a break in trust in the relationship. That can create jealousy. That can create a false sense of jealousy, which is like people thinking, oh, like he's probably cheating on me, blah, blah, or she's probably cheating on me, blah, 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 blah. You don't want that. That's toxic. Okay, what's the second one?
I would say keep the communication alive. As in, so anytime that you chat with your quote-unquote ex, tell your partner about it.
Yeah.
Like, don't hide anything from them. Don't show that you're trying to hide something.
Be transparent.
Very.
Yeah, be transparent.
I mean, Betsy and I do that.
Yep.
With everything.
And number 3, if the partner's not okay with it, then it's not okay.
Exactly.
That's just bottom line. Like, if your partner's not okay with it, then it's not okay. That's the rule. Like, rule 1, never be alone together. Rule number 2, trust, transparency, communication. And number 3, know when to cut it off. If your partner's not okay with it, you're either going to get rid of the relationship and stay friends with your ex, or you're going to cut the ex off and pursue the relationship. Bottom line.
Yep.
So, all right, cool. Next question. Good question, by the way.
Yeah, very good question.
These are so good. These are good questions. Besides the one, I mean, they're all good questions. I'm not gonna say anything. They're all good questions.
Okay, Haley, got another one for you.
Haley got another one in there. Haley Dehart. All right, what's the next one?
Apparently, Haley's all about the money.
Oh my God. Okay.
Hey, sugar daddy.
Sugar daddy. Oh wait, to give you an idea, to give you an example, Haley's first question was, "Do you have a good credit?" So here's the next. Here's the next question.
Do you have a savings account?
She's all about the security. The
Apparently
financial security is this woman's priority, man. She's like bank account, credit, everything.
I mean, I feel like that should go without saying.
I mean, yeah.
In all honesty, though, like,
although she asking, do you have a savings account with money in it? Or do you have
my question to you, Haley, is who are you dating?
Or maybe that's just questions that she wanted to ask but like didn't. You know what I mean? Like maybe she
still though. Who are you? If these questions got to be if these questions got to be coming up, and you're thinking about that, who really are you dating?
Yeah.
I mean, think about that, because if they don't seem established, I mean, are you really gonna ask him if it's a savings account? If he has a savings account?
Unless he's really, really, really hot and you have a lot of money, then there's a difference. Because then he doesn't have to, we don't have to worry about it. But what? Sugar babies are a thing, male and female. We've talked about it on the show. So
it's very true.
If you want a sugar baby, it's all right. He's got to be hot, like Chris Hemsworth hot or something. You know what I mean? I don't know.
But to answer that question, though, same thing with the credit score. I mean, if it's going to affect you.
If it's going to affect you, ask. If not, don't worry about it.
Because, I mean, joint accounts, everything like that, if it gets that serious.
I think marriage is that question. Savings account. I think if you plan on getting married, if you get engaged, have that conversation.
Hey.
Like you don't
Once the ring's on.
When you're dating, it doesn't really matter. Like, but if you plan on getting married, that is a significant conversation you need to have. Hey, how much do you have in savings? Like, so when we combine our assets, like how much are we going to have? How much are we going to have for a down payment on this house? How much are we going to do? That's when those conversations need to come up, and you should start. But by that point, you should already kind of be transparent. Usually the bills are coming out of one account, because usually couples will like. I know a lot of couples that don't split; they just combine, or like the girlfriend will give. Just like to have a portion of her paycheck put in the one account that pays all of the rent and all that.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of different things, but by that point, it's usually transparent. You don't need to ask that question realistically, because it'll come up. There will come a situation in the relationship if it gets that far in the process where it'll come up.
Haley, if you're the one that's having to pay for the meals, I'd probably ask. That's just me.
Some guys like the girl to give effort, like be like, you know what I mean?
I said pay for the meals, not like every once in a while.
Okay, yeah. So if you're like trading back and forth,
if you're paying for most of the meals,
I would ask.
Yes.
Be like, hey, is everything okay at work? Just ask that question. Is everything okay at work? Like I'm not complaining. I don't mind paying for you, but I've noticed that I'm paying a lot more, and I'm okay with that. I just want to make sure that everything's okay with you. It makes you sound genuine. It makes you sound like you're actually concerned, and you still get the answer that you want.
I'm a true believer then that the men should always pay for the woman. If they can.
Sounds like our feminists are going to hate us.
I don't care.
They're not watching this show. What are you talking about?
Next question.
Burp.
All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, it's a long one.
We got a long boy. Brittany Beauty 19. I want to try things in bed with my man. Oh no, excuse me. I want to try more things in bed, but my man is a bit more conservative. How can I get him to do more? Maybe try toys or even a threesome.
Build up his confidence.
Yeah, for real. First of all, bro, to Brittany's man, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I mean, granted, I'm conservative, but...
What are you doing?
You gotta at least try it once, man.
For all of us. Like,
here's the thing.
I've had one, but
Here's the thing, though.
Bro, it is awesome.
I'm a firm believer of trying almost everything once. There's certain things I will not do.
Threesomes are awesome. Let's just be real. Okay? And she wants you to do one. You have to do this for all of the young men watching, listening across the United States and internationally, because we have international listeners.
Yep.
For those of them that haven't had a threesome, Brittany, Beauty, 19's boyfriend, man, husband, whoever, you have to do this. Boy, not only for your country, but for your fellow man.
And your dignity.
And your dignity. Come on, dude. Like, you're probably sitting there going like, oh man, I can't even satisfy one girl. How am I going to satisfy two? Like, it's okay.
Learning experiences, man.
Look, let me tell you this. There is no part of this question that makes it seem like she's not confident in your abilities. If she wasn't confident in your abilities, she probably wouldn't be asking for a threesome. Or you're not satisfying her enough and the girl can eat her out while you do her in the mouth.
Hey.
Regardless of how that works, you get to have two girls at once and she's fine with it. What are you doing? I don't know. Brittany Beauty 19, if your man is watching this, have him reach out to us, because he can always follow the ABGTYFFT, which is the Aaron and Blake's Guide to Your Fun, Fantastic Fantasy Threesome. If you haven't seen that episode, it's like episode 10, I think. Isn't it? I think it's like episode 10. Like
I love how you go straight into threesomes with this.
I mean, she said maybe try toys or a threesome. If she mentions threesome.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear threesome.
Yeah. She mentioned threesome.
Okay, so okay, you already covered the threesome. Let me talk about the toys.
Yeah, Blake's the perfect one to talk about toys.
Right. But
because he wouldn't even try half of them on. If you haven't seen the 25 Days of Sex Toys, just watch back to see how many toys Blake tried.
All right, Brittany's man, boyfriend, husband, whatever you are.
Yeah. Ooh.
It's always okay to try it once, because after that, let's say if you don't like it, you can say you've tried it.
True.
Okay.
And if you do like it,
there you go.
Boom.
You discover something else. But let's say, for instance, like, if Brittany's willing to teach you, learn. It's only going to satisfy you more.
Oh, yeah.
Every single time.
Every single time.
Every single time.
You know the saying, 2 heads are better than one?
Hey-o.
Same goes for vaginas.
Yep.
Next question.
On that note, any hoosers.
Wait, hold on.
Right.
We actually have to help Brittany. I'm sorry. We gotta help Brittany out. All right, Brittany.
My bad.
How can you get him to do more? Honestly, figure out what the problem is.
Most of the time, it's his confidence.
Most of the time, it's the guy's confidence. Especially, I don't think you would have put threesome in here if that wasn't what you were trying to go for. To be completely honest, because most girls don't bring that up unless they really want to try it.
Yeah.
And that's probably the most ambitious one of the things you could do sexually in bed. So if he's not wanting to do a threesome, it's probably due to his lacking confidence in himself, in his ability in bed. Honestly, just sit down and have a conversation with him. Be like, hey, I really want to try this. Why aren't you, reciprocating? The other thing is that I know I was being a little bit of a misogynist. I think that's the word. Whereas, like, we were assuming that it's 2 girls and 1 guy. It could be that she wants to have a threesome with another guy and her man. Which at the same point, in defending my stance, because I don't want to go back on what I've said, have that conversation. If it's you that wants to do it, and you want to have an experience with a guy, maybe he doesn't want to have a threesome because you're not willing to do it with a girl.
Could be. Or
maybe that he is a little more jealous than you are by nature. So like, I can't say that 2 dicks are better than 1 because I'm a straight guy. I don't have a problem. But I've been in a threesome where you've had a guy and another guy and a girl. It's not as bad as people say. It's a little awkward, but it's not as awful as you think, depending on where you're at in your relationship.
Was it with someone that you actually like really cared about?
That's what I'm saying. Depending on where you're at in the relationship.
Yeah.
If it's on it's a more serious level, you're probably not gonna have. It's probably not gonna happen, just because he's probably to the point where he gets jealous over that shit really easily.
And probably won't think that he's not enough of a man.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I don't want to sound. I think misogynist is the right word, because I was saying like, oh yeah, it's two girls and a guy for sure. But it's like no, it could be two guys and a girl.
But you are asking two guys, so we're insulating. I think.
Yeah, for us, it's like you got to do it for the guys everywhere that haven't had sex with two girls. That's just kind of our thing.
Sorry, Brittany.
That's just kind of what we go to. But I am going to defend the other side. Man, Brittany's man, dude. If she wants to do it, and negotiate.
So one thing I would add. So Brittany.
Yeah.
The one thing I would always suggest, and because I've done this and everything, is try to figure out what makes your partner tick. So I would always suggest the 5 love languages. Reason for is because, like, I mean, if you guys are serious, this would be a great one for the both of you, how to receive it and how to give it. You got to figure yourself out along with them. I mean, because, okay, the reason why I said that, sorry.
No, it just sounded funny because you said give it and receive it.
Yeah, give love and receive love.
But, never mind.
Shut up.
But you want to receive some love, Blake? We should move on.
So,
sorry,
before that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because a lot of that is probably because of his confidence.
Probably.
So, if you...
Especially if it's another guy involved.
Yeah.
It's definitely confidence.
Yeah, so if you hit his love languages, his confidence goes up, which means he's probably going to be more lenient towards a threesome.
But it may not happen still.
Or other toys.
Because some guys are just jealous, and it's just what happens. So anyway,
but
good question. I'm sorry that we turned into weird guys for a second. But hey, we answered both sides, so don't hate us. Go for it.
Okay. So, Cassandra M. What's a deal breaker when you are interested in a girl?
What's a deal breaker? Let's just pick one each, and then we'll move on.
Okay.
What's a deal breaker for you?
Ambition.
If you don't have it?
Yep.
So not having ambition.
If you don't have goals in life, if you're just going through life, I honestly, I don't want anything to do with you.
Fair enough. For me, a deal breaker for me.
I mean, if we want to go on a physicality,
I'm gonna say no personality. If you don't have a sense of humor, like for me, a sense of humor. There it is, sense of humor. If you don't have a sense of humor, look what I do for a living. Like, if you don't have a sense of humor, like, bye. Like, it's partially that's why I love my wife so much, is because she has like the greatest sense of humor ever, and she's you would never, if you met her in real life, she's like the sweetest human being, but she has such a dirty mind and she has such a good sense of humor. It's just like, yeah, she's good. But yeah, not having a sense of humor is a deal breaker for me.
Good question, though.
Good question. All right.
Good answer.
Sorry. No, you're good. Here we go. Cassie26. Is it okay to stick my finger in his butt? If so, how do I approach it? For Blake, no. How do you... Okay. Why do you... I guess my follow-up question, Cassie, would be, why do you want to stick your finger in his butt? I mean, granted, I know some girls like doing that. It's like some girls like it. They because it technically is the guy's G-spot. I feel like the sticking a finger in the butt is not as bad. Now, don't try to peg him, like, just because it's probably not going to happen. And if you watch the dildos version of the 25 Days of Sex Toys, it's very hard for guys to just randomly do it. It's not, pinkies, like a pinky. If you like if you slip a pinky back there, first of all, to answer your question, how do you approach this? you have to ask. Like it's
You do.
It's gonna be awkward, but if you want to do it, like you've got to ask. You cannot just be having sex and then pop your finger back there. That is not how that works. That's what you call. You like press the button? What is it?
You press the button, like the non-boner button is just
gone. Now, granted, if the guy has some warning, and he may be able to get into a mindset where it's like, okay, she wants to try this. That's a whole different story, because then it's like, if she wants to try it, like Blake said, he'll try anything if that's what they want, if that's what she wants. But it's like, you can't just do it. First of all, that's non-consensual, and that's a whole different conversation. But because you're entering a person without consent, while being entered, which is weird, because you're entering somebody else who's trying to enter you, which is technically consensual but non-consent. Never mind.
Anyway,
Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Ask. If you're gonna do it, ask. If the guy says yes, fine. If he doesn't, respect him, or not, and then do it and see what happens. I don't know. Some guys may be like, ooh, okay.
Let us know how that goes.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below how that goes, Cassie.
But in all honesty, I didn't say
Haha.
In all honesty, though, just be straight up with them.
Yeah.
Straight up, tell them what you want.
If Betsy asked you, would you do it?
I have to ponder on it for a while.
Like if she was like, hey, can I just try this?
Again, I'd have to ponder on
I
it.
feel like if someone got you real good and drunk, you'd be like, yep, do it. Because you get weird. You get silly when you're drunk.
I do.
Yeah. So if you got him wasted, he'd probably do it. Like, just to be honest. Because, like, okay, you're not aware of this, but during the 25 Days of Sex Toys, he drank so much alcohol, and we barely got him to do that stuff. And he wasn't, like, drunk, but he was, like, drinking. And so, because he gets really nervous when it comes to that kind of thing, because it's way, way out of his comfort level.
This
like,
was way out of my comfort.
Yeah. So if you think that, like, what we've done on this show so far has been uncomfortable, that is by far the most uncomfortable Blake has ever been on this show, and probably outside of this show, to be completely honest.
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, yes, the show challenges us and makes us kind of go outside of our comfort zones, but that was definitely by far the most uncomfortable for him. So, I say this because if you got him really shit-faced, he'd probably do it.
And luckily, I would not remember.
Exactly.
If that was the case.
All right, next question.
All right, from Ellen T.
Ellen T.
What's the worst thing a girl can do on a date?
It's the worst thing a girl can do on a date.
Interesting question.
There's a lot, yeah. There's a lot of things you could probably do that would tick me off.
Worst thing.
We're gonna say first date. Worst thing you do on a first date.
Well, she said on a date. So let's do first date and then like
in general.
In general.
Okay.
So first date first.
Worst thing you could do on a first date is if I go to pick up the check, don't argue with me. Like, no offense to you. I get that you want to pay. I get that you have that sense of accomplishment in your life and that you feel financially stable enough to pick up the check. That's fine. I respect that. On the first date, don't pick up the check. If I reach for it, I'm paying. Like and here's the deal. Here's the difference. If I'm the one that asked you out, I intend to pay for you.
Exactly.
Because I wouldn't have asked you out if I didn't intend to pay. The difference is if you asked the guy out, I think that should fall. If you want to pay, I think that's the time where you can be like, I'm gonna pay. I invited you. I'm gonna pay. And like usually if I run into that, I'll be like, I'll tell a girl, I'm like, hey, like you get the next one. If you want to pay, like I get it. Just let me pay for this one. I invited you. Let me pay. You get the next one. And then they're usually like, okay. Yep. Or they'll argue with me and ask me to go Dutch and then piss me off and I'll never talk to them again. But like, if I invite you, I'm going to pay for you. I do this with my family. It's not just dating. Like I do this in general. If I invite you somewhere or out to dinner or whatever, like I pay. Like it's my thing. I don't like you don't pay if I invite you somewhere.
Yeah, we both do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like even when we hang out half the time, we work together and we're like, if I invite him over to hang out, I'm usually like, hey dude, I'll pay. Like unless it's like a lunch or whatever, because then we're just getting our own individual things and it doesn't matter. But
or we make bets, whichever.
Or we make bets. We have done that where we've driven up to the window And I took his credit card and I had mine. And I said, pick a card, any card. And they picked mine. And I paid for lunch. But it's fun. But I do that like in general, like for most people, I think. And you're the same way.
Yeah.
So is it pretty much the same exact thing? Don't pick up the check? That's probably the worst thing you could do, to be honest.
Pretty much, at least for the first date.
Don't insult me. I guess that's a pretty bad one. Like, don't.
I feel like it should be a level conversation.
Yeah.
On the first date. Don't be all about you.
Right. Oh yeah. Ask questions. Don't talk about yourself the whole time.
I mean, to me, I have no problem sitting there and listening. But if you don't ask a little bit about me,
yeah. Don't be self-indulged. That's a pretty good one. That's in general, though. I think that's the general one. Don't be self-indulged.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Good question.
So, hold on.
Okay, what?
Now we got to go with a date in
That's
general.
what I meant. That's what I meant. Don't talk too much. Like, don't ask questions. When you're first dating, I think the worst thing you can do on a first date is if the guy invited you and you pick up the check, and he goes to pick up the check and you argue with him, that's the worst thing you can do in my head. Now, if you reach for it and he didn't reach for it, first of all, question that. Second of all, if you've invited him out and you reach for the check, that's fine. Say like I just do the whole thing. Say what I said. If you were the girl in the situation and you invited the guy on a date and you said, "Hey, I invited you, let me pay," that's completely fine. You can argue with him all you want. But if he invited you and he reaches for the check, let him pay.
Big time.
And the second one that'd be my follow-up. It would be the don't talk too much on a general date. Like,
don't talk about yourself too much.
Don't talk about yourself too much. Ask questions.
As the man should be as well. You know,
yeah,
it
both sides.
It goes both ways.
Both sides. You need to have an equal conversation.
But any Hoosiers.
All right. Gamer Girl 35. How do you flirt with girls? I can't tell ever when a guy is flirting with me.
If he's picking on you,
He's usually flirting with you.
Usually,
yeah.
Usually guys are pretty forward about it.
Yeah. I don't know how you don't tell, because I mean, like, it's usually like they'll compliment you. They'll like kind of talk to you funny. I guess it could be hard. If they're getting really up close and personal and being super nice and offering to like, hey, we should do something sometime together. Hey, we should like hang out or blah, 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 blah. That's flirting. Big flirting. Usual signs of flirting are just like, if he's getting up close and personal and kind of like talking to you and asking questions about your life and about how your day was and all that kind of stuff, that's flirting. Most guys don't care. No offense. Just most guys don't care.
If they go out of their way to talk to you,
they're usually flirting with you.
Most of the time.
If they're being super nice and like attentive. If they're asking you a bunch of questions about yourself, all that, that's usually with a sign that they're kind of flirting with you a little bit. So, yeah, cool. Good question.
Yeah. I mean, granted, the one thing that I would like to add on that is because I am a nice guy, I have no problem asking the opposite sex questions.
Yeah, just feel it out. But then they'll be up front with you if you call them out.
Yeah.
So just be nice about it.
We have no problem being upfront.
Boom.
Next question.
Did you just get that one? Or no, you get this one. We'll do a few more and then we might save them and do this again. So.
All right, Betty.
All right, Betty.
Betty S. Do you think it's okay to flirt with other girls while in a relationship? Didn't we just have that one?
I think this is if you were in a relationship. We already answered this question though, kind of, because we thought it was the other one, so we answered it already.
Let me say that. Hell no.
Nope, not okay.
Next.
Martha P. What do girls do that you hate in a relationship? Bring their old shit into new relationships.
Yes. Big time.
That is the worst thing. That's awful. Don't bring your baggage into our relationship. Like, we can deal with it together. We can move past it. But don't take your shitty relationship and then throw that on me. That's just that's not fair. if you get out of a bad relationship, you need to take the time to get over that hurt and over that pain and mend yourself and love yourself before you even come close to a new relationship, because it's not fair to you and it's definitely not fair to your partner.
Amen.
Boom.
Sorry.
I think I wrapped that one up. We should just move on.
Next one. All right, Caitlin. Why do guys hold on, wow.
Can't speak.
Bleh. Words.
Bleh.
Why do all guys on Tinder have kids?
Oh my god. You missed 2 words.
Okay.
Why do all guys on Tinder in Indiana have kids? That's a very big distinguisher. Because you said all people on Tinder, all guys on Tinder. I feel like depending on where you go, that's not a true statement.
That's because
we live in Indiana. It's the Midwest.
Man.
You go to school, you graduate school, you get married, you have kids, you die. Like, this is pretty much how it works.
Unfortunately.
That's, I mean, in Midwest lifestyle, not to say that this is everybody that lives in the Midwest, but like the stereotypical Midwest lifestyle is you go to high school, you graduate high school, you go to college, graduate college, get married. Well, actually, not even that. You go to college, have kids while you're in college, and get married in college. Graduate college, then you work for 30, 40 years, retire, move to Florida, and die. Like, that's pretty much just how the Midwest mentality, like when people joke about it all the time, it's like that's how Midwest people live. Unfortunately, that's how it works.
A lot of it.
Yeah, unfortunately. So that's why we have kids, because it's just like the Midwest mentality. So, all right. Mary L., how do you show a girl you're interested? I ask her out.
Say, we're usually pretty straightforward.
Me and Blake are very straightforward guys. We don't beat around the bush. Like, if we like you, we're going to tell you. If we want to get your number, we're going to ask for your number. We are very just straight up people. Like, we're not going to beat around the bush. If we like you, we're going to tell you. I feel like this is a bad question for us. Because I feel like somebody could give you a better answer.
So, hold on.
How do you show a girl you're interested? I don't...
Again, though, it just goes back to...
you ask to dance. You'll ask them to dance.
Say what?
You'll ask them to dance at like the club or whatever. You'll ask them to dance.
Yeah, I mean... now, granted, I'm not the kind of guy that will say, hey, let me buy you a drink.
Right.
I mean, that's just not me. But, I don't know why I'm weird that way. But when it comes to, it's like any guy that's going to just give you attention in that manner.
Yeah.
Like, literally, if he's giving you attention more than 5 minutes.
That's usually how he's showing you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially at a bar.
In all honesty.
So, cool.
Or in a group setting.
Yeah. True.
If he's trying to talk to you more than everyone else.
That's how you know.
Yep. Very much so.
Deborah, what should I avoid saying or doing in bed?
Someone else's name.
Yeah, don't do that. That's a good one. Don't do that. All right, we're gonna do a speed round. So we got a few questions left. Me and Blake are gonna give fast answers, and we're gonna move on. We're gonna get all these done.
And the last one on here. Anything else?
Saying or doing in bed. Don't put your finger in his butt without asking. I don't know. Yeah, that's it. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Me and you each, we're going to just riff off, and we're going to answer as quickly as we can. Ready?
Just going to rip them off like a Band-Aid.
Go. Read it.
Hannah King, how long do you usually last in bed?
On average.
2 to 3 minutes. Depending.
2 to 3 minutes?
Having sex?
Yeah.
Just depends.
So that's on average is 2 to 3 minutes.
On average, no, I'm sorry. Wow, I was thinking something else. I'd say about 10, 15 minutes at least.
Yeah, like 15, 20, maybe 30 sometimes. Okay. KDD, what do guys notice first about girls? Boobs. Sorry.
Honestly, for me, smile.
Okay, yeah.
Every guy's different.
I'm a dick.
By the way. Ellie Thorpe? Okay. Would you eat my ass? I'm so scared to ask ask this to him. What should I do?
Well, we'll answer that question last. There's multiple parts to that one.
Yes.
Unknown. Why do guys ghost? Because we're assholes.
Why do girls ghost?
Move on. Chastina Jones. Is your dick big? Yes. Same.
Oh, yes.
Chrissy Singh. Sex before marriage? Depends on what the person wants. I think yes. Personally, me, yes. You got. Hey,
Depends on your partner.
you got to try it before you buy it. Let's just be real. Okay, moving on. Try it before you buy it.
Sure.
You can read that one. Go ahead.
Oh, jeez. All right, Anna. All right, what are topics you hate talking to your girlfriend about? Exes.
Oh yeah. Anything that guys like. Action movies. There you go. Hannah King again. How do you pee with morning wood? We don't. It's very, very hard.
Sometimes it hurts.
You kind of like you kind of like you stand up and then you kind of like lean over and put your hand on the wall, and you just kind of like prop yourself up and then aim down. That's how I've done it. It's hard to push it down because it hurts when you pee like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I kind of have to push it down.
You kind of have to do like a lean-to kind of shit. I don't know. Go ahead.
Interesting question, though. Claire, what is your definition of a slutty girl? Someone who dresses slutty.
Someone who cheats constantly and never gets better at it. So, okay. Tina H. Why are guys so obsessed with boobs? Have you seen them?
They bounce around a lot. I'm more obsessed with a butt than a boobs.
But boobs are fantastic. They're beautiful little sacks of fat.
Next one.
Chastina, where's the weirdest place you've masturbated? At work. Like my day, my other job before this.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Same.
Yep. Last one. Karen's World 72. What body type do you like? Proportionate.
A body type?
Body type. Yeah. Proportionate. I like it. I don't care if you have big boobs, big butt, little boobs, little butt. But if you have big boobs, no butt, or big butt, no boobs, not my type.
Proportionate, athletic.
There you go. Yep. Proportion athletics. Proportional athletic is my perfect body type.
Yep. And
time. That's the last one. We're gonna take a break on this one. But
okay.
So we're gonna answer this one because it takes a little more to answer. But we got through them all. That's it for the bowl. But we're gonna answer this last one and then we'll wrap up. Ellie Thorpe asked, "Would you eat my ass if I wasn't married and you sent me a picture?" I don't know, maybe. I'm so scared to ask this of him. What should I do? How do I hint it?
Ask him.
Do you eat ass?
No.
Would you eat ass?
Never tried.
Yeah.
Never thought about it.
I'm sure. If you haven't, the answer is no until you ask.
It's always a no until you ask.
It's always a no until you ask. So what should you do? You should ask. You should have a conversation with him and say, "Hey, I would really like you to eat my ass."
It is not going to hurt the relationship at all.
No. Now he could say no, which is kind of a shitty thing to do.
Haha.
How do you hint it if you don't want to come straight out and ask it? You should be like in bed getting your foreplay on, and when he goes down on you, you should just be like say it like, "Oh, baby, eat my ass," or something like that. Like, be sexy about it. And
who knows? He might just do it because he's in the mood.
And before you want him to do it, make sure you shower and clean and exfoliate really well.
Bleach your asshole.
I'm not saying that. Just make sure you take good care.
Just messing.
And that is it. We have done it. We have answered all of your questions in the Q&A. If you liked this type of style of episode, let us know. If you have more questions, let us know. Put it in the comments below, and we will fill up the bowl again, and then we will do the Q&A again. With that being said, that's all for this episode of Potty Mouth. Make sure to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast, iTunes, Spotify, or watch it here on YouTube. If you're watching it here on YouTube, make sure to like this video so we can keep bringing you fun, silly, goofy content like this. With that being said, that's all for this episode of Potty Mouth, and we will see you next time on the podcast.